Let's analyze SOFI stocks. There is an anomaly in the options market, meaning the derivatives market predicts that the price could sharply increase to $13 to $15 after August. Remember, we have a report at the end of July, which means this market forecast takes that report into account. Also, if we look at the market forecast, it predicts that the price could drop to $2 to $3. So the price could actually spike or drop significantly. A very interesting report is coming up, suggesting a potential growth of around 100% or a drop of more than 60%. Again, this is the market forecast and we'll talk about it a bit later. First, let's understand the volatility and what's happening here. As we can see, volatility is varied across different strike prices. For closer expiration dates, we see that volatility has dropped to 35%. But if we look at longer expiration dates, we see that volatility is around 55%. Again, this is tied to the fact that volatility could sharply increase after the report. This further proves that the report could become a highly volatile event this time. Now, let's look at the volatility smile. As we can see, in the short and medium term, options are pricing in both an increase and a decrease in the stock price. That is, volatility increases for both call and put options. This is a normal situation because investors and traders are anticipating price movements in both directions, up and down, after the report. In the longer term, we see that volatility mainly increases towards the put option side, indicating a potential decline in stock prices. Finally, let's look at implied and historical volatility. As we can see, the white line represents implied volatility, while the gray line represents historical volatility. At the moment, they are approximately at the same level. This is a normal situation, and it's likely to continue this way until the report is released. Now, let's look at the support and resistance levels and what is happening there. As we can see, there is a very large volume concentrated at the $7 level. This volume has been here for several weeks, and it remains unchanged. $7 is quite a distance away, hence it's a significant resistance level for us. We also have increased volume at the $6.50 level, which is quite close and currently serves as strong resistance for call options. So we have two major resistance levels at $6.50 and $7. The volume of options here is actually quite substantial and might hinder the movement post-report. If the report is not sufficiently weak, these significant resistance levels could potentially hold back the sharp growth of the company, but we'll see. Additionally, we have considerable resistance at the $6 and $6.50 levels. As we can see, there is substantial support and resistance for both call and put options, suggesting that the stock is likely to stay within these ranges and not move significantly away. Let's look at the open interest for options. We can see that open interest is concentrated at the $7, $8, and $10 levels. This indicates potential price attraction. So I speculate that sooner or later, the price might rise to $7, $8, or even $9. At least this is what the open interest in options suggests. Now, let's look at the current chart. We can see continued consolidation after a significant decline, with the stock having dropped by 10%. Currently, the stock is consolidating. I can assume that this consolidation will continue until the report is released, meaning there shouldn't be any significant movements unless, of course, some news breaks which could trigger movement. But again, I remind you that my main task is not to predict stock prices. That is, I am not capable of predicting stock price movements. My primary task is competent portfolio management. I remind you that I have a simulation account where I demonstrate how I manage the portfolio. As you can see, I have accumulated a large position in SOFI stocks worth $1,000. However, this position is currently at a loss. We can look at all my trades. I've earned around $350 from trading options on this stock. Currently, I hold 1,000 shares of SOFI with an average price of $7.85. Yes, I'm at a loss now, but that's a normal situation. Again, some might ask why I'm not making more trades. The key here is discipline and patience. There's no need to rush and open a lot of trades. We need to watch and wait. As I mentioned, I don't know which way the stock will move, so there's no point in making numerous trades. Once I understand the stock's direction, I can then build interesting positions accordingly. Now, let's quickly look at the 3D volatility. I remind you that this section covers all the information on derivatives, options, volatility, and expiration dates, which can be used to devise good strategies. I often use it to form my strategies. Now let's move on to the market forecast. If we look at the market forecast for, say, early August, specifically August 2nd, 2024, we see that the market assigns a 10% probability that the stock will be between $12 and $15. This implies that the stock might sharply rise by 100% post-report. Again, friends, the probability is quite low, but it's there, at least according to the market. If we look at a later date, for example, August 9th, 2024, we see that the market also accounts for a sharp drop in stock prices. I remind you that the options and derivatives market encompasses all current information, including news, volumes, options, activity, and volatility. It uses this data to build mathematical models and estimate the stock's price with certain probabilities. As we can see, the market assigns almost a 20% probability that the stock could sharply decline. This indicates that there is currently some not very positive information regarding SOFI stock. Of course, we hope that this doesn't happen. But aside from hope, it's difficult to say much because we don't have all the information and we can't predict the new information that will come after the report. If we look at the end of 2024, the situation seems to stabilize somewhat, and the market forecasts with greater probability that the price will be between $5 and $7. This range has the highest probability, indicating ongoing uncertainty. The market suggests that the stock is likely to remain in this range, partly due to the unknowns regarding the upcoming report. Naturally, once new information, new reports, and new financials come in, the market's forecast for these stocks will change, and a lot can shift. However, I want to emphasize that I'm not aiming for miracles. My primary goal is not to achieve a 100% profit from some incredible stroke of luck, but to manage my positions competently. Looking at my portfolio, you can see that my strategy is gradually outperforming SOFI stock, the blue line. The red line represents SOFI stock, which is currently underperforming compared to my strategy. I use derivatives and options along with buying stocks. Perhaps before the report, I will do something to hedge my position. We will see. Once again, I remind you that SOFI stock is gradually becoming profitable. A year ago, it was still unprofitable, but now, for several reports in a row, it has shown a profit. Accordingly, this report will also be profitable, and it will exceed expectations. There is potential for the stock price to move. However, if this report turns out to be negative and the company becomes unprofitable again, the stock could drop significantly, by as much as 20%, down to $5. Of course, this is not very good news, but we will wait and see. Looking at the reports, it's clear that the company is becoming increasingly profitable. Undoubtedly, if this trend continues and the business grows, sooner or later the stock will surpass its historical highs and rise above $30. However, this won't happen in the coming weeks or months. It will likely take several years. But if you are a long-term investor and believe in this company, why not start investing now? The most important thing is not to use leverage or anything else because, in reality, there is still a lot of uncertainty and instability. How will this company perform over a longer period? Will its income be sustained or not? We hope that the company will grow. But again, this is not a matter of 1 week. It will be a gradual increase in financial reports and a steady growth of the company. Also, I remind you that I have launched a portfolio from scratch. There, I buy stocks and form a portfolio. Be sure to check out my previous videos, and very soon I will record a new video with a new stock that I will purchase next week. Leave comments. Good luck to everyone.